Hello there and welcome to the ClueCon weekly studio. And it's a very, very exciting, on a scale of 1 to very exciting, this is a very exciting ClueCon weekly. I know they're all exciting, but this one's very exciting because we've got Chris Matthieu in the house today. How are you doing, Chris?
Hey, David, great. And you?
Very, very well. Very pleased to have you along, Chris. I remember, and I know this is something that's true for many people that know you, that when we saw that you were leaving Magic Leap, we collectively thought, I wonder what Chris is going to be doing next. We know it's going to come round soon and it's going to be quite exciting. And so I know a number of people, including myself, have been watching out, and we were delighted when you sprung onto LinkedIn and other social media channels to say you've got not one, but 2 projects on the go. So that is exciting news. But before we get to those, Chris, before we even get to those, you're a man that's been in and out of a few different companies. And when I say that, you've actually started a few companies that have been acquired, and then you've kind of gone into the acquiring company and worked a little bit and come out and started again. So can you give us a bit of a Chris Matthews potted, not Matthews, a Chris Matthieu potted history to start with, please?
Yeah, thank you very much, David. I joined Magic Leap a couple of years ago. They acquired a company I'd started called Computes Inc. It was a decentralized global supercomputer, if you will. So I was taking all of these disparate computers and IoT devices and meshing them all together in this decentralized fashion. And they were computing together as if they were cores on the same supercomputer, like from around the world. So that was fascinating, this idea of infinite computing. So Magic Leap had acquired that.
I was just going to jump in, Chris, because this was part of your overarching Skynet kind of thing, wasn't it?
Yes, thank you for bringing that up, because I had originally started Octoblu, the Internet of Things company, platform company, thinking I was building Skynet.im. It was machine-to-machine instant messaging. I had this idea that Skynet, the real Skynet from Terminator, was possible. So Octoblu was this idea where any machine could talk to any other machine regardless of protocol. Citrix bought that. We spent 3 years focusing on enterprise IoT. Of course, we changed the name, from Skynet.im to Octoblu, and did that. And then when Citrix decided to get out of the IoT business, I thought for a minute. I said, the machines talking is one thing, but there's an AI component that tells the machines what to do. And in order to have the massive compute required for AI, that's where I pivoted into the next startup of Computes, thinking we needed this brain, this global brain that then controlled all of the machines. So, and what's kind of funny is when Magic Leap acquired us, we were jokingly internally saying the only thing we were missing from a true Skynet platform was the Terminator vision, where it had the augmented reality on top of like the real world, and that's what the Magic Leap devices provided. So I felt like we had accomplished our mission there.
All coming together somehow. That's great. But you do have a background in, well, I say regular telecoms. It's not regular telecoms, but in the world of telephony as well.
Yes, thank you. So before Octoblu, there was a company I started called Teleku, and it was a cloud communications API. So very much Twilio-esque, Tropo-esque. In fact, it was acquired by Tropo, but that same week Tropo reached out to me to talk about acquisitions. Twilio had also. So I was able to be very transparent and say, both of you guys are at the table, and I went with the Tropo gang. I absolutely love that gang. I mean, they were always doing really fascinating things, and I became the head of business development for Tropo, which was then acquired by Cisco. So I'm kind of getting back to my telecom roots, if you will, with these next 2 startups.
Yeah, so tell us about the first one. Tell us about Twelephone that's burst onto the scene recently.
Yeah, so Twelephone.com, it originally started 8 years ago when I was at Tropo. We kind of talked about it. I built it using Phono, their WebRTC client. The idea back then was it was going to be the Twitter telephone. So you logged into Twelephone with your Twitter account, and automatically you had access to the entire Twitter directory as your Twelephone book. The problem at the time was that only Chrome supported WebRTC. You have to time travel 8 years ago. So it really wasn't a viable company option back then. So we shelved it to focus on Octoblu, which paid off well. But now, I left Magic Leap, and I'm kind of looking at the marketplace again, and sure enough, every browser supports WebRTC today. So Safari, unbelievably, supports it very well. You can even communicate cross-browser between Safari and Chrome and Firefox. But not only that, but the mobile devices, iOS and Android, also support WebRTC. So I rewrote Twelephone with a modern Node.js and React today, and it works amazingly. So you're able to, like, we're in essence building a telecom company out of web protocols. So we've created this thing called a dial tone. We've created dial tone for the web, and what that allows you to do is basically place Twelephone calls to other Twelephone users. And instead of your computer or phone ringing, you get the little push notification as you'd expect a modern, telephone to work. And it says, hey, incoming call from David, accept or decline. If I accept, it opens up a Twelephone browser for me and a Twelephone browser for you, and then pairs us up in a secure peer-to-peer video chat call, which is pretty amazing. Like all of those protocol components are available today to build a web telephone. So we've extended it to not only Twitter, but LinkedIn, Facebook, GitHub, and we could add others. So very interesting if you kind of think about, now you have a web telephone using modern web protocols that's secure peer-to-peer. You could kind of think about all of the other telecom services you could go back and start adding to that, like call queuing, video messaging, if you're not available. And the brilliant thing is your telephone number is now your username from the social network you logged in on. So you don't really have to remember things anymore. I can say, I'm at twelephone.com/dduffit, and I know that's going to ring you.
Yeah, indeed. And of course, it could also act as the aggregator for me on Twitter to ring you on LinkedIn, because it knows that your ID for LinkedIn, matches the same profile as your login, if you like, for Twitter. Amazing stuff. And I was just thinking, when you were talking about that little push notification, it's not quite, but it's almost like a what's the word I'm looking for? A screen pop for free, isn't it? Just popping up there and saying that you've got a notification. Good stuff. Okay,
like surveillance capitalism, with all of these social networks getting so big and monetizing you based on AI and patterns. It's refreshing to me to be able to say, I'm just going to place a peer-to-peer encrypted call with no middleman, and I don't worry about any of that anymore. I love that.
Yeah, that's great stuff, because the security is inherently there, isn't it? Peer-to-peer. Great stuff.
Yep.
Okay, well, that's one of the projects. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about in terms of Twelephone before we move on to the other projects, Chris?
No, I think we've covered it. I think now it's a matter of people providing feedback. Does it meet your needs? Could you use it in place of Zoom, perhaps? I'm just curious, what are other people's use cases now that the platform is kind of v1.0?
Okay, now you say that, but is it one-to-one, or can it be a multi-party kind of thing?
Both. Yeah, so you can do one-to-one, or you can create Twelephone meeting links. And I think with peer-to-peer, I think about 6 people in a meeting is about good for bandwidth.
Right. I'm with you. Okay. Yeah, interesting stuff. And is there a twelephone.com at this stage?
Yep, twelephone.com, and you've got the 4 links, to log in: Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and GitHub. And you have a Twelephone number. Once you OAuth with one of those services, and you could call me.
Great. And if people do get involved and jump on and get their profiles started and get calling each other, if they want to give you feedback, how would they do that, Chris?
Well, probably Twitter or maybe chris@twelephone.com. That always works. Or call me, twelephone.com/Chris Matthieu. I've been enjoying speaking with people again. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah.
That's proper dog fooding right there, isn't it? People coming through on your own service. Great stuff. Okay, yes. Now what about the next? What about the other project that you've also started in parallel with this one?
Yeah, so the next project is XRPANET, XRPA.net. And the idea, I was reading a lot of articles, with Twelephone, trying to position the marketing, what have you. And, Zoom fatigue is a real thing. Like a lot of people are getting tired of, like video chats, regardless of what platform it is. So I said, I've been thinking about this idea of creating a digital twin, if you will, of the entire world. Where if you're using like VR, like an Oculus Quest or a Vive or even your PC, being able to teleport, this sounds like really sci-fi, but being able to teleport to like a lat long or an address or a landmark, and then literally see the real streets, the buildings, the trees, like in that address or that lat long where you've teleported to, and then for people that are physically there, they can use their AR device, their mobile device, to actually see you as an avatar in the real world, speaking with them, while the rest of your VR friends see you as avatars in this digital twin world. So it's kind of this idea where we're all avatars. We can teleport or physically go to destinations and meet and communicate together as avatars in the same space. There's something there that's really intriguing to me.
It is pretty amazing, and I know that when our CTO Evan found out about it, he jumped on, and I think, did he go to the Bay Area, to San Francisco or somewhere like that, within the metaverse, as it were?
He hit a few destinations, and he told me that the buildings and bridges, everything looked legit. So that's V1.0. So we're expecting everything to get even higher fidelity, with upcoming releases.
Well, that's very cool. Now, I thought it would be good for us to meet in that metaverse. And so I'm just going to change the screen here. And now we should see our screen change. Hey! And there we are. And can you explain to the ClueCon Weekly viewers what's happening here?
Yeah, so I gave David a link, which is the lat long standing right outside the Mirage Casino in Las Vegas. So I'm in Phoenix, Arizona. David's in Brazil. We've both teleported to the Mirage Casino in Las Vegas. And I am this green guy right here. And David's the purple guy. So it randomly chooses colors. And we can explore, like these are all the real streets, real buildings and trees in Las Vegas out front of the Mirage Casino. So, oh, there's my eyeballs right in your face. So we're able to have this conversation, in this digital twin metaverse, if you will, of the real world.
Okay, I'm going to jump over onto my tab. So all I'm going to see is the view from my eyes, and so I'm seeing you there, Mr. Green, and I can come towards you. And Chris and I were trying this out earlier, and sadly it won't come through on the recording here, but we were experiencing spatial sound in that when I got close to Chris, he was louder, and when I got further away, he got quieter. And if I had him to one side, he was coming through one ear, or a mix of the two ears, but dominantly through the one. And when I walked past him, it sounded like he was behind me, and that was really amazing. How on earth did you manage that, Chris?
It's really trippy. I just use basic, web protocols, the web audio API, and it gives you, when you're wearing headphones, like you said, spatial audio by default. So it is trippy, like when you start walking around me, like I can hear you behind me or my left side, And, when you've got like a group of, say, 5, 6, a dozen people all meeting in XRPANET at a location, it's kind of cool because you can hear your friend on the left, your other friend on the right, and the other one in front of you. And I think it's actually easier to have a conversation like that because you don't feel like you're stepping on top of each other like you do with a video call. You're more, I think, aware of your surroundings.
Yeah, it's good. And I did come across some research somewhere, and I know this is early days. This is like version 1.0 or 0.9 or whatever, but that said, even if you can have a moving mouth that doesn't match what's been said, the very fact that there's a moving mouth at the same time as somebody's talking actually helps people to understand. And I see all sorts of potential for that in here.
Indeed. And I'm experimenting with, there's a few open source projects with life-size VR chat avatars that have the moving mouth. They call them bizemes. So, I mean, you might be able to say, I want to be Darth Vader, and Chris is going to be Luke Skywalker, and we're going to meet like in Las Vegas and have a chat. I mean, like that will be definitely something in the near future.
Right, yeah, that's great. I found you. I'd lost you for a while, and I'm just coming in. There you are. You're looking away from me. I don't know whether it's something I said.
Yes. No, so you were roaming, I guess, around. There you are. Let me go around.
There you are. Okay, yeah, swivel round so we can see your eyes, Chris. That's great stuff.
What are you looking at?
You frightened me. I'm backing off. Amazing stuff.
I've been playing with this other idea too, where I can pin digital content to a lat long as well, like a dragon. Like I could put a dragon right there at the front of the Mirage Casino, or flying in the air right above us. And we would both see it in XRPANET when we're talking. But if you're physically at the Mirage and you pull your phone out, you would see that same dragon in the air, and I would see, the two avatars right in front of me talking too. So it's kind of when you experience that in both AR and VR, like this co-presence idea with digital content around you, there's something there. It's really fascinating.
Yeah, that sounds like the beginnings of digital signage 3.5 or something like that. To have that. Now I'm looking at you, Chris, but it looks like you can't see me. Have I wandered into the wrong place? So you're looking around for me. I can see you. You are Mr. Green.
I think I need to get it back in front of you. Let me see. Let me see if I go. There.
Or did I come? Or did I come a little? Oh, can you see me?
Yeah, I'm looking right at you.
Yeah, we're staring each other in the face now, aren't we? I will. I will look up to the sky because you've got a very. What can you tell us about the sky here, Chris?
Yeah, so I'm just playing a 360-degree video of like cyberpunk, like Blade Runner. There's flying cars, like police cars in the sky, very cyberpunk, which I think is kind of cool for this genre. To me, it kind of feels like cyberspace, like what we all started calling the internet, but this feels like the next generation of the internet. Like for over a decade, 2 decades, the internet has been like trapped in a screen. And I think what we're doing is this could be the new real world web, like the new spatial web. And, we could pin like signage on buildings. We could pin dragons in streets, content, in the real world. And eventually we'll all be life-size, holograms, talking with each other, in the cyberspace, the next generation of the web, I think. That's what it feels like this is turning into.
Yeah, for sure. And as you know, in the world of SignalWire, we have a virtual office solution that everybody is getting to know. and it already recreates some of the best things about a live office experience, but in a remote way. And I can't help but thinking that some kind of combination of that with virtual rooms that operate in multi-dimensions could be just a bit mind-blowing for people.
Yeah, so like let me explain kind of like how this works. So we're both like on a PC or a Mac, like through the web browser, which is cool. This means anyone can access this. But if I put on my Oculus and I go to the same lat long, it literally turns into a full virtual reality experience where the sky is the cyberpunk sky, and like I'm walking down the streets and chatting with you. So you can imagine that we could have a big whiteboard maybe now in this virtual reality space. We could maybe bring in other like digital objects into this space, so we could have more of a in-person, like in a room or outside of a building, you know, conversation. I think this is all getting just really interesting.
It sure is. It sure is. It's, you know, you're opening up possibilities that you probably haven't even thought of just yet, Chris. You thought of a lot of possibilities.
Oh, exactly.
But I'm sure there's more. Amazing. Great.
Oh,
okay.
exactly.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming to talk to us about it. It is a fascinating thing, and I'm enjoying running around in this area. Did you say we're outside the Mirage in Las Vegas here?
Yep, but you know, any address will work. You know, I've tested a bunch of them. They've all got the buildings and streets and trees. So yeah, give it a try. XRPA.net. It's kind of a play on ARPANET. You know, ARPANET was the beginning of the internet. So I'm kind of playing with this idea that XRPANET could be the beginning of this. So XR means like AR and VR, like it means all the realities combined. So augmented, virtual, mixed, etc. So it's just kind of this idea that this next spatial web could be all the alternate realities combined in the real world.
Right. Okay. Now, look, do you want to try something a little bit hairy? This is a bit of a dangerous demo of a ClueCon Weekly anyway, but do you want to, should we jump and meet somewhere else? Do you want to give me another browser link and we'll meet in another location? Yeah. Or do you think that's a little bit too hairy?
No, not at all. So like, do you have a spot in like downtown Brazil that sounds interesting?
Well,
like
what about Goiânia?
Can you place?
Yeah, there's the city I'm in is called Goiânia, which is Goiania, Goiânia in Brazil.
I see. Yeah, state of Goiás, Brazil. Okay, hang on. So I'm teleporting there now.
Okay, if you want to put the link in if you put it in the Signal Wire chat, I'll pick it up from there.
Yep, I'll do that now.
Thank you. Okay, I see it.
Yes,
I'm just going to pick up that
I
link.
will close that one, and I'm going to change mine to there too.
Ah, okay, all right. I'm gonna try and pop that link straight into where I am, so that I keep the screen share. But we'll see. Oh yeah, I can see you've popped up there.
I'm in there now. I see the streets and I see buildings. I don't see like any. I don't know where. I'm guessing we're like in the middle of the GPS of the town.
We may well be, and I'm afraid I don't know the downtown area well enough to know how faithful it is, but I'm sure it is a good representation. Okay, right, I'm here as I am. It's goodness me, you've turned into Mr. Yellow. There you go.
Yeah, and you're red. So yeah, it randomly grabs a color. But you know that's interesting. So I mean, I should let me send you another one of the Eiffel Tower. That's kind of a cool Paris.
Yeah, sure.
Let's go to Paris.
Here we are jumping around the world together, Chris.
Yeah, don't you wish you could like really travel like this, like with a blink of an eye, within a matter of a couple of seconds, actually be in another, like really teleport? That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So this
cool.
is cool. Let me put this link in. Okay, that.
Right, I'm just getting that.
And then I'll go there with my other browser, the one that's on.
Okay, I'm about to go there too.
Yeah, there's a lot more stuff in this one. So what you'll see is it's not high fidelity enough where it actually looks like the Eiffel Tower, but you'll see a big like bronze. Oh, I see you're the green avatar now. I'm behind you. Okay, but you'll see like a giant bronze looking building. So what I do is I grab the size of the building from the OpenStreetMaps database, and I just kind of project that as a height and width of a structure. So
that's amazing.
We're in
the
Paris
OpenStreetMaps. Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh,
to
yeah.
me that the OpenStreetMaps is, you know, has that level of detail in it. That, you know, the size of buildings and things.
And you know, the trees are also like, even though these don't look like the right trees that are there, they do have the size of the trees, and these are real trees, like in this lat long outside of the Eiffel Tower where we teleported. So that blows my mind that we've almost, like, with higher fidelity we'll get there, but we're recreating the real world in virtual reality that lets us teleport there.
That is amazing. I'm going to try and walk away a little bit and then turn around and see you, because I think I might have been a bit too close. So I'm just going to go down this avenue here. Here we go. Okay, and now if I turn around now, let's see if I can see Chris. Here. I can't see you, Chris. I wonder, am I doing something wrong? Amazing. Can you still see me?
Okay, I see you. Yeah, I still see you. Let me go kind of look by you.
I'm going to go.
For some reason, I kind of look like I'm in. I look like I'm in the air a little bit. For some reason, I need to figure out how to get down a little bit.
We don't want anybody getting high on this ClueCon Weekly, Chris.
I see on yours. I see the little green guy down the street. Let me get back over there.
Oh, hold on. You see the green guy down the street.
Here, hang on. I'm going back to the original position, so maybe it'll be easier to find me.
Okay. Ah, there. I think I can see. Ah, there's that. I may have seen you before and just not noticed you because you've come up as white. Okay. There you are. Amazing stuff.
You might have walked. Yeah, isn't that cool? Yeah. So I think we're just getting started on. Yeah, crazy ideas.
Yeah. Yeah, we've jumped from Las Vegas to Brazil to now Paris, all in the space of one ClueCon Weekly, which is amazing.
Talk about a dangerous demo.
Yeah.
Remember that movie, cool. The Fly, where a machine and at least there's no worries about that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I was going to say, we don't want anything getting in the teleporter with us and coming out the other end.
Very cool.
Well, Chris, thank you very much for coming in and talking to us about this. This is amazing. And of course, it's to be expected for those that follow Chris Matthieu that something like this was going to happen. And it's a pleasure to be the first to share it. Because I think this is a first, isn't it, on ClueCon Weekly? This is the first time you're out with this technology in kind of a public forum, you know, talking about it in this way.
Indeed, absolutely the first on ClueCon, and it was all my pleasure too, David. It's always fun catching up with you guys and the whole Telecom, Asterisk, ClueCon, Signal Wire community. I'm excited to be somewhat back in it with a couple of telephony ideas.
Yeah, great stuff. And let's not forget FreeSwitch as well. Core ClueCon.
That's right.
As a FreeSwitch driven production. So thank you very much for coming along, Chris. It's been our pleasure to have you along and to try out your technology. And we're very excited to try it next time. Next time you have something else you'd like to say, we'll have you back in when we're on version 2 or whatever and talk more. But in the meantime, wishing you every success with this project. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you, David. And likewise, same to you and your family. Thank you.